I want to speak about NoFap, and I can get rid of this addiction. Sorry about me stuttering, I'm just really nervous.
That's okay.
So I found about NoFap about 2 years ago, and I read about all of the tactics, and I watched all of your videos on this topic, and I just can't seem to get rid of this addiction.
What have you tried so far?
Not doing it, or just filling out my time, but that usually doesn't work out because I do all the things I want to do, but at the end of the day in the bed, you know, that's what happens. And what have I tried? I have tried some porn blockers, but I always have a way around them. I don't know, the urge just got to me, and I'll just browse Instagram or Google and not watch porn, but just dirty pics, I guess, women and things like that.
Why do you want to quit?
When I try to do some things for school, because I'm in school right now and I'll have a big exam in about 2 months. That's usually when I get urges when I do schoolwork. I try to focus on the things I need to do, but it's just a bigger waste of time. I don't like that I waste so much time on it, and mostly I don't like losing sleep over it because yeah, I get urges at night and usually spend around 2 hours just browsing on and off and just losing sleep. And I feel like sleep is very important for me, and I just feel disgusted in the morning knowing that I could have got more sleep if I just went to bed. Yeah, I feel the wasting time is the most annoying thing about this.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know how true a lot of those YouTube videos are. Oh yeah, women can smell the retention on you, and these the NoFap's benefits timeline. A lot of those guys, again, they make videos because they want to get views and make money, not because they actually care about you. But people talk a lot about NoFap online, and I think it makes things worse for men like you because it makes you desperately try to quit right now, and quitting isn't actually the right thing. It's by trying to be on NoFap, you're setting yourself a goal that you will fail. Because what is the goal? Okay, not to fap. For how long? 90. How long? Forever, right? Technically. Is it likely that you're going to fap once again over the rest of your life before you die? Maybe days or weeks or maybe years or maybe 35 years old or maybe 65. You probably will, right? So then setting this goal that we shouldn't fap is probably not smart. We know there's a 100% chance that we'll fail this goal. Maybe we're going to fail today, maybe we're going to fail in 10 years, but 100% chance we're going to fail this goal, right? There's probably a 0% chance that we never fap again for the rest of our lives, right?
Yeah.
Then at that point, NoFap is worthless because we can't be on NoFap because it's a goal that we will fail. So then we're not on NoFap, we're on less fap. We just want to fap so infrequently that it's not a problem at all. So maybe that's once every 6 months, 2-3 times a year. If it was that infrequently, you probably wouldn't care, would you? It would probably be like a conscious thought that you did, and maybe it was actually kind of useful for somebody. You know what I mean? It's probably so infrequent that it's not even bad for you. That's what we want to get up to.
Mm-hmm.
That slight change in your mindset is very powerful. So how do you do less fap properly then? We progressively deload. So in the gym, we progressively overload. We start with 20 kg bench press, then we go 22.5, then we go 25, then 27.5, then 30, 32.5, 35, like this. We go up like this. We must do the exact same thing, but reducing it in less fap. So on average, would you say, do you fap like every day once or?
Yeah, pretty much it. Maybe just once a week I don't do it, but most of the days, yeah, every day, once a day.
Okay, so let's say 30 times a month you fap, right?
Yeah.
To go from 30 to 0 is a huge jump. Should a beginner who comes to the gym, he can bench 20 kg. Should he put 60 kg on the bar?
I suppose not.
Right. But he can bench 20 kg. Should he put 22.5? Sure. So if you fap 30 times a month, what if for this month the goal is 27? What if you choose 3 days of this month that you won't fap, but for the rest of the month you can fap once per day, no problem, and actually tell yourself that you can enjoy it? Which sounds crazy. But then what if next month it's 24 times, then 21? And then by the end of this year you fap 10 times, which is a 3 times improvement already. And then halfway through next year, it's less than once a month. And at that point, you're already in like the golden points. You're already at like this awesome place. Have you ever considered doing it like this?
Yeah, I have, but it hasn't worked.
Why?
Maybe I just didn't put in enough work, but I just always slipped back into my old habits.
What if you go with a structured plan? You could write this down somewhere. 27 for May, 24 for June, 21 July. You would fap half as much by the end of this year, which is huge progress.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as good as, you know, the miracle of NoFap, where you stop fapping right now forever and you can start levitating and, you know, you'll get more views on YouTube. It won't be as clickbait, but you'll be fapping half as much, and that would be sustainable. That would be for the rest of your life, and you can just keep going down and down and down. Or you can keep trying the NoFap way and keep failing.
Yeah, maybe I worded it incorrectly, because I don't necessarily want to do NoFap. I just want to fap less because it's consumed a lot of my time. I know about the NoFap problem that I want fap ever again, but I just want to do it a lot less. And I have tried, but it hasn't worked. And I have tried for some time now. Yeah, about 2 years.
Yeah.
No results.
Yeah.
I mean, I fap maybe to less to vanilla stuff, but it usually interferes with my work, so it bothers me so much.
Yeah. NoFap doesn't work for most people. It's because it's just illogical. It's not a rational thing to try to do. It really sounds cool on YouTube, but in the real world, everyone who makes progress actually makes progress from less fap, because that's just, but without realizing it. You get onto NoFap, you say you're going to get to 90 days or something, you get to day 2 or 3, then you fap again. Then you're on NoFap again, and you get to day 1, and you fap again. Then you're on NoFap again, then you get to 3 days, and you fap again. Really, in the end, that guy was just on less fap anyway, but he just hated himself because he wasn't achieving NoFap. NoFap's stupid. Forget it. We get onto less fap. Imagine that, you know, a calendar. Let me get it. Imagine. Yeah, like this. So we see the calendar, right? This is for March, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you choose of these days 3 days that you won't fap. And if this was for May, I would choose the first day of the month. Okay, that day I'm not going to fap. Well, first day done. Next day I'm going to fap. And the way that I would tell you to do it is, don't use porn, and also make it as fast and as efficient as possible. So oftentimes to prolong the enjoyment, we'll kind of make it longer, and then that's just taking more time. If I was going to do this myself, like how I used to do this on the days where I could fap, it wouldn't even be that fun, because I just go like hyper mode, like literally just not within like 1 minute. It's like, oh, you feel kind of good, but I just did it in a rush. Boom, okay, back to work. That's the second day. 30 seconds speed. You speed run it, right? Speed fap. That's the second day. Second day we're going to fap, right? Third day, let's try not to fap. Let's get those 3 days where we're not going to fap in the month. Let's try and get them as close as possible to the start of the days of the month. You can plan this out before, and you can just tell yourself, okay, today I'm not going to fap, but literally almost every other day of the month I'm going to fap, so it's not a problem, just today I won't. Okay, then you've done 3 for May. Then in June, again, we're going to take 6 days off, and you put them near the first few days of the month. You get 1 day, you're not going to fap, the next day you are. You do this for a couple of months, and suddenly you've been able to distance yourself so much away from the enjoyment, the porn, the time wasted, and also from the toxic idea of NoFap, that now it's getting relatively healthy. You're a teenager who went from every day to 1/3 of that, 10 days in December. You could do that, right? Imagine December's far away. Could you achieve the goal to only fap 10 times in December?
Probably.
That means you went down by 2/3. That's a big accomplishment, and that's realistic. And then after December, let's say a few more months. If you got only 10 times in December, 6 months after that, you could probably do just 1 time in June 2024, right?
That sounds a bit unbelievable to think about right now, because I just know me. But I guess it's possible.
The math makes sense. All you got to do is reduce it by 3 times per month. And then by June, all you've got to do is reduce fapping by 3 times per month. If you fap 30 times this month and 27, this time next year, you'll actually be on NoFap. We'll say, like, you'll be on, like, non-significance fap, where you fap, like, a handful of times per year. Perfect.
Yeah.
It takes 1 year to get there. Now, you can either start that 1 year right now by reducing it by 3 per month, or you can keep trying to do NoFap and keep failing, and then be the guy who keeps failing NoFap for like 4 years like I did.
Yeah.
I know that this is the weird advice that you probably weren't expecting to hear, but the truth is, I speak to a lot of guys who struggle with NoFap. The guys who actually become successful at it actually did less fap without realizing it. Because NoFap, no one hears about NoFap and then never faps again. They hear about NoFap, they say they're not going to fap again, and then they fap in 3 days, or 1 day, or 2 days, or 7 days. Everyone does, right? Everyone relapses, right? Well, a relapse defies the whole point of if the point of NoFap is not to fap again, then, and there's a term called a relapse, then it's like the NoFap doesn't work. That's like, this is like saying that if you ever hit failure in the gym, you've lost. But that doesn't make any sense. NoFap is the kid who's trying to hit, like Vince is a strong kid, right? He wants to do strongman. But imagine if he says to us guys, oh yeah, so, you know, tomorrow I'm going to try bench 3 plates. I mean, like, just hold on a second, Vince, I don't know what YouTubers told you to do that, bro. Get to day 19, you can levitate kind of shit, bro. Maybe don't try that shit. How about 50 kg? How about 55? Like, Because you understand it in the gym analogy, don't you? So why don't we use that same analogy with other parts of our life?
Yeah. I'll try that, I guess. I was expecting this answer, but I know what I have to do, but I just didn't do it, I guess.
Because it's too hard.
Yeah.
Like, what you have to do is bench 60 kg and you can't. So you can keep trying, get underneath the bar, try it, oh, I failed again, oh, I failed again, oh, I failed again, oh, I failed again. Or you can go hit 22.5 right now. So I know this advice seems different from every other YouTuber. So inside of your mind, it's probably some thoughts thinking, oh, I might not try this, probably not going to work. I'm sure that trying NoFap again will work this time. But if you can put your trust in me, if I could go back and be your age, this is exactly how I would do it. And I know that I would save years of my life.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Less fap. So what would be your plan then?
So I just introduce my calendar the days that are fat, and most importantly the days that I want, and just increase the days that I want progressively, so that I make progress.
That's it. I'd say maybe get to the point where you fap. Literally, you don't even fap in the entire month. Get there in maybe 1 year. If you want to push yourself a little bit harder, maybe by the end of this year. Maybe you could even set the goal, okay, in December, I'm not going to fap even once. That's a pretty hard goal. Then literally just do the math and work backwards. Okay, so let's say from May to December, how many months are there? Okay, how many do I have to reduce per month to get there? Okay, I have to reduce 5 or 6 times. Okay, in May, would it be totally unrealistic for you to not fap 5 days of the month? Like, you could probably do that, right? So if you could do that, then in June, could you just add in another 5 days? Like, you probably could, right? And then if you did this, in 6 months, you would hit your absolute lifelong goal of NoFap. You're set for life then, right? You didn't fap over an entire month. That's done. Okay, you never need to think about NoFap or porn or anything for the rest of your life. If it's less than once a month, it's not a problem. 6 months of progressive deloading to get you to your lifelong goal. I think that's a lot smarter than trying to hit it right now.
Yeah.
Any questions about that?
Any questions? No, I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on the call, bro.
Thank you for taking me on.
You're welcome. You're a very good listener.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't be in the chat, boys. I think we'll leave it there.